We can't do any of these things that we're going to talk about today if we don't win the election. And that means we have to nominate someone in the Republican Party that has a chance of winning the election. I know I can win this election. You know who else knows I can win this election? The Democrats know I can win this election. That's why this cannot be an election about nominating someone just to make a point. This can't just be an election nominating about someone because they seem angrier than everybody else. We're all angry. We're all frustrated.
By far the most electable. Anybody but Trump.
Well, what's the matter with Donald?
He is the
charismatic,
most arrogant, rude, narcissistic politician I think I've ever heard.
He is not running a campaign where he's bad-mouthing the other parties. He's running a clean, and I like his positions. I think he'll be a good president.
Which one of the Democratic candidates bothers you?
Well, how about all of them? I don't like any of them.
I'm supporting Marco Rubio because he has a message that is far more bipartisan and far less divisive than any of the other candidates on both parties.
It looks like homework.
We're making calls for Marco Rubio. This is a lot more fun than homework.
College students?
Yeah, college students. St. Thomas.
St. Thomas, all of you?
Yes.
Okay, and you're volunteers for?
Yes, for Rubio.
Rubio? And why?
I believe in his positive message, and I think he envisions a bright future for America, and I think he can unite us as Americans.
What's the appeal to young people?
Well, I've noticed a lot of my friends that are really excited about Marco, and these aren't people that are generally as into politics as I am, so I think he has a positive message, and we haven't seen a lot of that in the campaign, and I think that's really attractive to young people.
I really like Marco's stance on national defense. I think he can keep the country safe, which is why I'm very supportive of him.
You guys traveling as a group?
Yes, yeah, we are.
Where are you from?
We go to Tino Grace in Fridley.
Okay. Is this a class?
No, we just wanted to come down.
The Rubio Brigade here.
Yeah, the youth brigade.
You guys, is this your first elections?
Yeah, we are right.
Where are you guys from?
We're from University of St. Thomas.
Okay, and what year?
Freshman.
Freshman.
Okay, will you be voting this year?
Yes,
we will.
Why are you here?
Yeah, just to get informed, and a fan of Marco Rubio's for sure. So he's my favorite Republican candidate, and for a while there were just a lot of discrepancies between the other candidates, and I feel like Marco Rubio is just a really good standout guy, and he is genuine. So
he's very presidential. He shares a lot of our common views on things.
Probably the most electable candidate out there.
Has like the most responsible ways of moving forward, and I think all the candidates have a way of moving forward, but his is the most responsible. And
he just holds a lot of the same political values as we do. I think that
because he's got wonderful ideas and he knows what's going on and what needs to be fixed and how to go about it.
I think this has been the worst 8 years of my 70 years in the White House. I have never seen the abuse of power that I have seen in this White House from this man. He just does not understand the Constitution. He's violated the Constitution repeatedly. If he doesn't want to go by the rules laid out on how we govern in this country, Trump is, I think, maybe put a dagger in this politically correct business.
Yes.
I may not like what he says, but we finally got some people that are saying, I'm not going to take it anymore.
I can't tell who you're supporting.
Of course. We can make it clear, Marco Rubio.
Yeah.
Why? Well, I think he's got fresh ideas. He's young. We need that. I'm old. Sometimes I have old ideas, but he's got young ideas.
Because I believe he can unify our party. It's not divisive, I believe.
Why?
he's so cute.
Well, I just think he has the best chance to beat Hillary by far. He appeals to all demographics, and obviously we don't want another Democrat in office. So.
Because he is the Democrats' worst nightmare.
Okay.
And I think he can bring in new people to the Republican Party and build our party. He'd be the first Hispanic president, so. And I think Donald Trump is the Democrats' dream come true.
The man himself, Marco Rubio, the guy we're pulling for.
Why is that?
I think that, well, he was actually part of my first pick with Walker and with Rubio, and then he took that kicking at that New Hampshire primary, and I think that he popped himself back. But I think he's the most conservative.
Presidential, several people have made.
Well, unlike Donald Trump, is what I mean.
Second choice is Trump. Rubio is definitely number one.
Why?
His honesty is, I think he's very electable, very honest, very forthright. You ask him a question, he answers the question very quickly.
Well, I'm quite decided. I'm leaning toward Rubio.
Okay. Who's your second?
Well, I like Trump and Cruz, but just hung up that they might not be as uniting as Rubio.
He shares all of my values. I think he's got creative ideas, thinks outside the box. He's a strong conservative, he's articulate, intelligent, and I think he can win the general election.
He's the most electable. I also think he's the sole Republican candidate up there that isn't just going to appeal to the Republican Party. He does, but he's also going to grow the base.
I don't support Cruz or Donald Trump, and he really stands by what he says, and I feel like he's the most likely to win Hillary Clinton or Bernie Sanders.
Actually, I was supporting Ted Cruz. I was between Ted Cruz and Marco, and after last night, I just said that's it.
I like all of his policies, and I think he's the most electable.
I really trust him. He's honest.
What's the biggest need in the country today? What are we missing?
What are we missing? Division. We need to be united, and I think he can do that.
He has the most positive message. He has a message of unity, which I don't hear any other candidate speak about. I think he'll be strong on defense and the economy, and I think he's the most winnable in the general election.
What's the biggest concern you have about the nation today?
Economy and jobs, getting people to work and having a prosperous country.
Rubio in one of his talks, and he's for the family. It's very important to me, the family and Christian life, which he represents. He's a good Christian family man, and I feel safe with he would be our president because he cares about us.
I love the UpTake. You guys have great stuff that I go and dig out and then post on the website I work for.
Okay, what's the website you work for?
Alpha News. I am undecided.
Okay.
And yeah, I'll hopefully be getting some.
Who are your choices?
I don't know, the top three. Trump, Cruz, or Rubio.
What's the biggest issue facing the country today?
The incredible, huge encroachment of the federal government. It's gotten so huge, spending so much money, taking up far too much of our freedom and our life and our decisions. So
I think that he would appeal to a much broader spectrum of people than our other candidates, although I like many of them.
And who are we here for today? Core values, conservative, he tells the truth, he's got experience, he doesn't pull...
You became a supporter. Who were you supporting?
I was supporting Ted, but he doesn't pull dirty tricks. Rubio doesn't.
I like his conservative values and his stance on life and marriage, and also just how clear he is with his faith. I like how he gives solid answers compared to a lot of the other candidates. I feel like I know what he's going to do.
I want whoever can beat the Democrats, number one. And
what's the issue facing the country?
What's the what?
Biggest issue facing the country today?
A number of things. I think there's all the financial issues, but then there's the moral issues too. So I think they're
moral issue. How?
I support marriage between one man and one woman, abortion, and I think our country is falling apart because we've lost the stance that our country was founded on.
I'm a military mom, so the next president isn't just the next president for me, it's also my son's commander-in-chief. I'm looking for a candidate who will set our military up for success, but has enough diplomacy to not put them in harm's way on security, national security.
What's that mean to you?
To me, it would mean less terrorism, not only on our homeland, but also all over the world.
I'm curious. I like him. He has great presence. I love his family. I need to see him in person, though. So.
What's the biggest issue facing the country today?
The economy and immigration. Hands down.
What about immigration? What's the issue there? People that are here, people coming in.
It's both. I mean, I'm more upset about the people who are already here, who are living off of people like me and probably yourself.